Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, custom chaos? One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster Juice, freshly made your way.
A very pleasant good morning, curling fans, and welcome to the Saville Community Sports Center here in Edmonton, Alberta, on the South Campus of the U of A. It's the Saville Grand Prix, and we are here this morning with Kayla Skrlik versus Selena Sturmay. My name is Dave Schmel. I'm joined for the very first time by Gord Coppathorne here on Curling Stadium. And Gord, welcome to the team.
Well, thanks, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Absolutely, and we are backed up by Connor Sims on the production. He is bringing all the camera angles, the ones and twos, threes and fours and fives and sixes, and everything that goes along with that. It is Team Skrlik with the hammer here in the first end. They're throwing the red stones. Sturmay with the yellow. And Gord, both of these teams are 2-0 to get started.
It's a classic battle of Alberta, and at this point in the season, anybody can pull anything off. So I suspect a couple of lazier, quieter ends to get their feet wet at 9 in the morning, and we'll see who can come out on top.
So you see right off the bat here, Team Skrlik playing with just 3 today. Margot Fleming not on the ice right now. You don't know all the details there, but if you know in the chat, feel free to interact with us. You do need to be subscribed to Curling Zones to take a part in the chat. So if you haven't done that, well, that's a good reason.
Well, the two teams are trying to prove me wrong right off the hop. We've got a center guard and then a deep one and a freeze coming. That's not your prototypical trade fire in first end. Nice to see them be aggressive, and it was also nice they just went all around the center line. So that's kind of a simpler version as to throw in corner guards.
Let's see, Team Skrlik. Sorry, Sturmay coming on in here.
It's Team Black versus Team Black. This is gonna be a fun one.
Oh, yeah. They're not doing us any favors here, buddy.
Nothing like starting the day off with a look really close on every player.
Especially early in the season. I mean, I have a difficult time telling the brothers apart, the Marshes. Last year, they kind of had an unwritten rule that one wore gloves and one didn't, where they wore different gloves, but they started wearing the same gloves, and that just messed everything up. So this draw weight is controlled a little bit better. Come on down to the top 4 with a pretty good angle.
Yeah, it's just rock positioning now. Start pushing them through. They've played their draws, and now they'll start pushing them deep and probably clean things up a little bit. I do find it interesting that every shot's been the intern so far. That'll make the sheet a little goofy to start. It's not uncommon to see switching sides in the first end or two to keep the sheet balanced. So this one, they're looking to just push that rock under the tee line, keep it all deep, backing, easy doubles, all kinds of fun things can happen. Mixed doubles strategy here.
This one gets up and a little bit across the face, clears the one in the back. They lie too.
They got enough of a roll that they can't flop in. It's a little too high.
You send them seeing what they can see. I guess they're trying to figure out if they could ever throw a double.
Yeah, if you could go just a bit off nose, you'd get a clean double. You wouldn't want to go over, you'd catch a red one, but hit and roll away is a much easier first end shot. Maybe go for a little backside double.
Oh, yeah, they not able to get the cheap way.
And got the rollout. So almost to both, nothing to either.
Yeah, the shooter does find its way out of the ring, so reset here.
So now if I was a skip, this is where I would have, well, I gotta be careful here. This would be where it'd be nice to learn the other turn. And then you'd leave your rock sticking out that side, aimed at the red one. So I'd have been inclined to give the out turn a try. Learn the sheet, get the weight earlier on, better angle to catch on the red one. But they've thrown this spot.
Right, even if you're just a touch light, it'd be a heck of a miss, I think, right?
Yeah. Because this way here, there's no real way to catch anything. Any hit is going to just shoot out the open side of the house. If you'd gone the other way, you have those two at the back that could be a catcher.
And we see since we're burning a hole down that track in the ice, it's just getting more and more keen and sliding just behind the tee line. Right there, we can see the middle of the Remax balloon. You could lock in there if you had to.
Statement for good ice when you can actually over curl and poke out the other side in the first end. They work really hard on their ice up there because it's not actually an arena, so the ice crew have to work extra hard to get that kind of 5 feet of curl that they all like to see. So this is when you don't want to leave light. A little tap on the yellows is fine.
On its way down.
Jerry Lynn with all the work. Nothing like sweeping. Would that be 5 out of every 8 rocks all by yourself?
Oh, I made sure I gave you plenty of practice of that last weekend.
And Shawnee, who's just like, you take whichever side's the most work. You're better. Oh, thanks.
He actually said that.
Then. Yeah, he said, I'm not a good sweeper. You take the hard side every rock.
Oh,
I got lots of exercise because some people didn't want to throw it heavy.
I love Shawnee, but he's right. He's not really the best brusher.
His judge was good, so I just put.
Oh yeah, that's his strength. Is he's a way better judge than a physical brusher. You need both for sure.
That rock just thrown by Skrlik's team. It needed like 2 inches of curl to be a great shot, and instead it's kind of a mediocre. What makes them unpleasant is it just kind of scatters the opponent's rocks. So, like, Danielle throws this rock and they hit it nose, and then the yellow one also kind of pops out, making doubles and things harder. So those like fractional corner freezes rarely actually work out very well. No, but they elected to just put another one in the pile.
And we have to get a zoom shot on that, but it looks like yellow is 2 at the moment. Pretty close.
And now Kayla has made when you get to the thirds, you have to decide, keep chasing or start cleaning. And we've gone with start cleaning, which is probably sensible. That was always a thing that we learned is watch Kevin Martin play back in the days with Johnny Moe, and you can literally see the decision point, clean or go.
I'd say we tidied, but we didn't clean.
I'm struggling to call that a good outcome. Left to center guard, took out 2 reds, left 4 yellows. That's a bit unfortunate. I would have been happy just to make sure the guard was out of the way at this point in the game.
And we saw from that last shot, good crowd on hand upstairs already. early in the morning at Saville. Second weekend in a row that we've had events from Saville.
They are a very active club in the Western Canadian community, being part of U of A and a very evolved program.
U of A was certainly at the forefront of developing a big curling program. Other universities have caught up to an extent, but there's something about being first.
And they've proven continuity. It's one thing to make a great program for a few years, and when that individual running it goes, the whole thing falls apart. But U of A is on, at least a decade of making great curlers. Kevin Martin technically came from U of A, followed by, Botcher was out of there. Sturmays are both out of there. So they've put out lots of good players for a very long time.
So Team Skrlik has to be careful here. There's a lot of yellow populating the rings.
I didn't love where they left that last yellow. Ooh, this is not going to help. There's that finally having to switch the sheet sides and not knowing what it was going to do problem. What I was going to say is I didn't love where that yellow one stopped, because you could just clip and roll under, and then it's going to be really hard to get the red out. But that didn't come to bear, so they got away with a mediocre.
So you see, the first indication from Sturmay was to be top 12 on the left side.
Basically trying to cover that hit and flop that Kayla just tried, because that's a real dangerous shot. If she can roll to the top of the button right on the blue of the Remax balloon, there's really no good way to get it out. Doesn't hurt to have Danielle Schmiemann as your third. She's a very prominent mixed doubles player, so they're used to having these crowded houses with lots of angles.
And we talked about this last night with Jim, how the mixed doubles game has really evolved the four-person game.
As a coach, the thing I love the most about it is it's really tipped the balance between hit first or draw first. So, you get a young male individual under, say, 25. When I went through juniors, et cetera, it was, okay, what can we smash? Because when it really caught pressure bound, drawing was the fear. But now they don't fear it at all. And they actually look around and say, hey, is there a good draw? Then look at the hit things. So that's my favorite change that mixed doubles has created.
So you see them here with a knifing technique here, trying to work it around, maybe take a hair of the weight off.
Yeah, the principle of knifing is it should make it die faster and curl sooner, is the principle of it. It's fairly new, so we'll call the evidence empirical at this point. But that was what they were after, more curl and less distance, so they were trying. Kai told me the other day, don't try knifing. You have to be the best of the best to do that right. Okay, boss.
And, I'd had to agree with Kai, because just from the chair that I sit in watching these tournaments, we watch the privilege of calling the games for a lot of the best players in the world. And, well, you don't have me sold on all that evidence yet. And I'm just going to call it the way I see it.
I'm not going to disagree with you. You have to do it absolutely right. I try to encourage people to learn sweeping from the basics first. Sweep it to make it carry its path, carry the weight, so on and so forth. And then once you've got good at that, then worry about directional, and then maybe worry about knifing. But it's so easy to jump right to that directional and knifing because you see it on TV all the time and they work so hard at it. And there's that little hit and flop. Didn't quite flop as far as they were hoping. So it is accessible.
So our executive producer, Jerry Gertz, says, Gord, that your voice is a spitting image of Terrence Myers of the Murdoch Mysteries.
I'm not sure if I should take that as a compliment or not. A very credible Canadian actor, actually took his roots from the Red Green show even before Murdoch Mysteries, but being being compared to the most foolish Canadian intelligence officer in television is a backhanded compliment, but I'll go with it. I'll take recognizable.
Is Terrence related to another famous Canadian, Mike Myers?
No. The character's name is Terrence Myers.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember the actor's name. Big, tall, likable fella that likes to play the Canadian aloof.
Likable. That rules you out.
Gee, thanks, Dave.
So you see the hit and roll out, and it's going to be Skrlik drawing against 5 in the first end.
Well, they elected to play busy in the first end, and it's very safe to say they got out-executed. Now, none of their shots were egregious mistakes, but they certainly piled up favorably for Sturmay. But hey, you just did a draw to the button. You've got the whole forefoot. This is an unfortunate outcome, but makeable by far.
You see Jerry chiming in. Totally a compliment. A voice with character, he says.
I will take it and love it.
So Kayla Skrlik out of Calgary, facing 5, final stone of the opening end. Hopping up to help out her brusher if required. More or less just supervising. More important to get past the guard. Oh!
Right. And stop.
Are you going to get away with it? Oh. You do, and that is a very, very teeth-clenching single. And they get away with it. We'll be back from Saville right after this.
Hey, Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting. We'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Welcome back to the Saville Grand Prix. Kayla Skrlik and Selena Sturmay. And Gord, that was a squeaker in the first.
Well, that was a very exciting first. That makes life a whole lot more enjoyable. But that was absolutely a mouthful. So look at this. This is how a first end should end, right? Look at that. Just a quarter inch, and that was 3 against.
But it goes on the scoreboard just like any other force.
And that's where you really wish you had that second sweep, or you're doing the on off, but it's hard to flip flop back and forth and straight, curl, straight. So a little detriment to only having one sweeper on that one.
Yeah, because it certainly had the weight. It probably needed the rub. So we see we're getting into it again. We have a corner guard up, tight center, and come right on in.
No rest for the wicked this morning. I like it. It is only an 8-end game, so you don't want to burn too many ends.
Happy to have you with us here this morning on Curling Stadium, part of the Stadium Sports Network. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We could use the help. We had to pay for Connor's college somehow.
There you go. When was the last time you saw the Skrlik sisters sweeping together? Kayla taking a little pity and going out to help. Now here's the fun thing about a corner guard. You throw it and you hope you can use it. But most people get, I would say, disenfranchised with corner guards because you can only use them when the other team makes a mistake. So Sturmay electing to put the pressure down the middle, keep it interesting.
Oh, you could almost make a good side bet at your local curling club as to how many orphan corner guards you're going to see.
That's why most non-pro teams just play around the center all the time. It's a tough strategy to get used to and accept that you only use it once every other end. But again, it's built on the principle of hoping to build a mistake. There's a really nice mixed doubles draw by the top of the forefoot. Tough to deal with.
Still looking to come back at that one right now.
The most common defense to this is just corner freeze that yellow one. Leave it there for the better part of the end and then hopefully get a chance to move them.
And especially since the no tick rule has come into place, this has become the predominant style now. This is way out in the hinterlands.
I think that had 3 rotations from the hog line in. That was a very... Now, having said that, if that's 6 feet lighter, it's corner frozen on the yellow one. That's a really nice late break in that sheet. Now, a lot of people would sit there and say, hey, you had too much ice. But you kind of got to take where it stopped and move it forward and think, hey, if I was 6 feet lighter, that's roughly where it would have stopped. Corner frozen on the yellow. So the ice was pretty close, just too heavy.
Right, and to your point, if the weight was lighter, you could have finished it right to where you want it.
Yep. Yeah, if she throws that top 12, you get to pick where it's stopping.
So you see a little bumper weight shot here. Is it going to clear it all the way out? Ooh. I want to say yes.
There.
I want to say yes, but that's close. But this way, I'm not going to leave that to chance.
Somebody needs to go out there someday and measure how much gap you can see for a house that or a rock that's still in, because it's usually about a little less than an inch of air, and it's still in. So that one's going to be close.
Yeah, I remember back in my officiating days, you had to take the biter bar and swing it around every house and document anything that was just off even a touch, measure everything, post it on the board.
Okay, Mr. Official, pop quiz. Can you use the 6-foot measure on a rock biting the back of the house mid-end?
Yes, that's the only time you can.
Ooh. Biters out, or short of the house for the free guard zone rule you can use it on.
Well, true, but sorry, in the rings though. That's the only
Yeah.
time you're allowed to use on a stone that it is for sure in the rings behind the tee line.
Correct. That very right at the back to see if it's out of play or not, I think.
Yep,
I'm not an official.
yeah, it has to be at the intersection of the center line and the back line.
All right, so now Sturmay's thinking, is this corner guard usable now, or do we keep the middle busy?
And to that point, and all the time I've officiated, I think I've seen that happen once.
I saw Mila Plett, when she was in U18, win a nail biter to get into playoffs to then go on and win the province, all because of a misunderstanding of a biter at the very back of the house. Yeah, they ended up stealing 2 on barely biting the house biters. Because to your point, the rings aren't always perfect.
Yeah, that's one of those rules that, well, officials, we all have the radios in our ears. So if we're not sure, we stand there and act like we're very sure. And then talk on the radio and somebody goes in the back and opens up the rule book.
I show you. All right, so Sturmay electing to keep the play in the middle. Given that her rock's just kind of biting the forefoot, I can't call this bad idea because Kayla could easily just drop one in underneath of it and take the whole end away. So the corner guard, I can see why she decided not to use it.
So you see, looking at opening things up, or, once again, we're at that inflection point that you talked about. Looks like appeal is more the play.
Yeah, when you're trying to steal and you're now peeling your own center guards, that's unfortunately a bit of humble pie. Has a term up here for peeling your own center.
Peel of shame.
Yep. Is that in your world too?
We have a stone with that engraved on it. It's a number 2 stone, of course.
I think you should give it a different colored handle. You're throwing the peel of shame.
We'll get them.
Now the context is a little different. It's usually when the lead throws a center guard when they were supposed to be in or through, but still. All right, now is a not horrendous time to use the corner guard. That double is pretty tailor-made. So you would consider throwing it over here so that if they make the double, you still have a chance for a 2.
Not sure if I'm in love with the outturn.
Exact words in my head. Not sure I love that shot.
I'm more infatuated by that one.
Potentially could set up a triple, but, you just got to know where not to put it. Yeah, I like this one.
Well, at least in our world, Gord, I mean, if you're saying set up a triple, I'm saying go ahead, make it, go.
Unfortunately, I grew up in the world of people loving those, and a lot of them make them.
Yeah, well.
The Alberta draw. Hit it with 8 seconds. This is
a little bit toasty.
It's definitely not in the triple path.
You see, and we get a good look at that potential biter. Oh boy, that's close.
I don't mind where that yellow one stopped. Skrlik has to go after this double. Like, you can't not. Then she has to roll to the open side. The miracle roll is perfectly under that corner guard, but that's asking a lot this early in the season.
So Ashton with it on the way. Ooh, on the top guard.
I almost had to say jinx there. That was a very synchronized ooh.
Yeah, you buy me a Coke.
So that's going to create a lot of problems. My gut reaction here was actually to go under the, as we see now, right side corner guard, spread everything out.
So we're going to have a mound visit here.
She really likes that out turn underneath of everything, which I get. It's a pressure shot if you're sitting on the button. But she has hammer, so she doesn't need to play on the button. If she was trying to steal, that'd be different. Going over here, you're grouping your rocks. You're also making a potential catcher. I don't really understand why they don't even consider going under the red guard, because then you're using the entire house. But maybe they just don't know that path.
Because I think right now, at this point, your end goal has now become 3.
I would say that's your target for sure. Minimum 2 at this point. Because Skrlik has few options to get out of this without giving up points. I'm expecting her to try that double again and hope for the end-saving roll.
So on the way from Danielle. Probably want to curl a little bit more than that. Did you leave?
I don't mind it. That's not a catcher. The roll is still going to be above everything. I like that better than high, because technically you can roll under something if it was just top 12.
Okay. Kayla has her etch sketch out here. She's trying to figure out the angles here. Do you ever?
I'm trying to decide if you can outmaneuver that back yellow one. Can you roll under the guard and low enough, which to me would be an intern, because it'll roll a little bit lower. So if she played the intern here and caught, say, a thick 3/4, she would roll a little bit lower and would be out counting the back one under that long yellow guard. But call it to make the double and hope for the outcome. Jerry Lynn working it hard. Stuffs it. Oh, never mind. Jerry Lynn was holding the broom. Haha. Sister Skrlik was doing the hard work. That actually doesn't surprise me. Jerry Lynn used to skip her own team back in the junior days. Okay.
Now you see the long double is available if you wanted to ever throw that. When it comes time for Kayla, so Paige Papley coming on down.
Also a very prominent mixed doubles player. Her and Evan Van Amsterdam play together.
Oh, okay.
One of the fun facts of Paige, she switches which hand she's sweeping with mid sheet in mixed doubles. She quite often switches hands as she switches sides. It's quite entertaining. So, I think they're electing straight draw here. They did say clipping their own yellow would be perfectly acceptable. Scatter them around because it's kind of a sitting duck right in the dead middle. That would almost be ideal if you call it a third of that yellow one, pushed it under one guard and rolled under the other guard. Well, the way Danielle's cleaning the ice, it kind of looks like what they're going for.
So Sturmay coming into the house. Getting ready to throw here. Her first to 2 in the second.
Definitely has weight for a split. Lip reading, I think they're saying 10.
They're going to make contact, get a little split, get just a piece. Hang is on the back, and they lie 1, 2, 3, and 4.
But all fairly deep. Well, the top one, but like they've made a pocket of all pockets over there.
It is Skrlik holding the 1 stone advantage here, playing the second end from the Saville Grand Prix. And do you just take the double on and concede 3?
The straight back with the yellow, you can see enough of it. Get rid of 2 yellows. You leave your shooter over there is certainly a easier call. This roll gives you 2 choices, under the guard or all the way down into the pocket, and then she's likely drawing for 2 or a small hit. I don't entirely love this shot. Your double is probably a safer play, but giving up 3 is also not what they're really after. So this is the only shot, well, barring a brilliant draw. You could corner freeze or something like that, but in land of her wanting to hit something, this is the only one that's going to get you out of the end with only giving up 1 or 2.
You don't make it right. You're giving up 4.
Correct.
One of those big moments that you're going to go back and look at end management. And this is brilliant if we make it right. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, well, this is a battle of managing your misses, and Skrliks are all coming up on the unfortunate side, clipping that one on the a couple rocks ago. That was a major miss.
So final stone in the end for Skrlik. Trying to walk it over just a touch. Get the hit. Do they get the perfect roll? Push it over, shove it over. Probably still plenty of room to dig it. Had to go just a touch further, Gord.
An inch and you'd have been happy because the angle's right into those back yellows. It's still possible to throw it into those yellows and have a heavy catch, but yeah, you'd have loved 1 inch more roll. Not that said, if you make the roll too good, then she just does the run back and she's got a shot for 3 that way. So that was pretty close to the perfect roll. I think she can get enough of it for the 4. But you're looking at like hacked a board kind of cute shot in the second end.
I mean, you have to throw it.
You certainly have to. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get many shots for 4 in curling.
So you kind of picture what you just threw. So you threw a 10-11 split and it curled. So this one you're thinking, okay, let's go with hack, which is enough weight to push it through, and just picture that exact same path because it's going to be a very similar route. The fail on this would be completely fundamentally change your weight and go, okay, I'm going to throw a strong board or a control at this when you just saw a almost the right weight hit.
So facing one with an opportunity for 4, Selena Sturmay. Get a piece. Do you clear the ones in the back? And you will. And there they go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down the board. It's 4-1 after 2. We'll be back from Saville right after this.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made your way.
Welcome back to Saville. It's a Saville Grand Prix. Deschamel Gord Copperthorne. And it was a huge score of 4 there for Selena Sturmay in the second, Gord.
So now's the chance for Skrlik to say, hey, we're playing aggressive, we're close, but we need to just tighten up our misses a little bit. So they got to keep throwing the kitchen sink at this and hope Selena gets a miss or two out there, but you got to stick with it now. Starting it out with a corner guard.
Yep.
They did technically get a half miss out of Selena by putting that draw to the back 8. Little call out for anyone paying close attention behind the glass is Shannon Kleibrink, who's put her coaching shoes back on these days and helping out on the girls' tour, ladies' tour.
This troll also has plenty of weight.
Well, the immortal words of everyone who ever taught me, for the love of goodness, don't be light on this. When you're up 4-1, you don't need guards. All right, right on top of the button. That's a nice place. Skrlik will keep ignoring it for now. There's Shannon sitting at her laptop.
They don't call Connor the best producer, who I'm currently working with right now, for no reason.
Some people might call that a mismanaged mistake. That probably would have been better for you as a halfway guard as opposed to right beside it, because it wasn't going to make it into the house. So you kind of just needed to be honest and say, hey, let's go for the double stacked guards here.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how would you characterize it? And you provide that answer.
I read your mind. I would call it mediocre. It is a guard, but it's one of those ones where if you get behind it, it's a nice stacked guard, but it's just not your best friend yet.
As to reading my mind, Gord, I don't open a book you don't want to read.
All right. Selena deciding to make life harder. Throwing up a nice guard, but still only covered half of it.
Yeah, Selena's taken the approach of my rocks will be problems for you.
The other thing she could have done there is kind of that chop shot, as they call it, where you half bury under those corner guards in the top 12. And that would have made life really difficult for Team Skrlik as well. Now, unfortunately, had her guard shown the other half of the rock in the house, would have been a much better outcome because any kind of hit rolls away. They showed the half of the rock where if you make the hit, you roll under the corner guards. That's
right, and those corner guards will very much come into play now. It's a whole little wing. Gonna get there and make contact.
Yeah,
not gonna get much of a roll though. Yeah. Shot stone with catchers, but definitely gettable.
Not quite sure why they chose that soft of a weight when you had two guards to roll under. When you're trying to generate at least a 2, if not a 3, you kind of got to get out in the wings, hiding behind corners, and just keep moving the yellows out of the way.
It's a big game for both of these squads, sitting at 2-0.
Sturmay looking to roll underneath, but they've got that swingy path.
Very tight to the guard, and it does wreck on top. And he's going to fly on through. So, you're Skrlik. You just got a little Christmas present here. How do you best capitalize on it?
Well, the unforced error count is 2 for Skrlik, 1 for Sturmay. So, to your point, how do you deal with this? You could get away with a split on your own. You could push yours into the 2 yellows and roll your other under the guards. You could hit the left side yellow and roll under the other guard. You could freeze to the back one. I don't love grouping my rocks because Selena will happily hit them. What would you throw, Dave?
I'd throw a drill. That's always the answer. I don't need to look.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd almost be tempted to come under the guards and take advantage of those corners.
If I trusted my weight and line, the split to me is the best outcome because then you're not a dead duck in the middle of wide open. But that's the most brazen of the choices.
That's
Nice
pretty
shot.
good.
Yeah.
You're never killing both of them now.
No, not at all. That was definitely a good way to set up at least 2. There are ways to mess this one up badly, but as long as your nose are anywhere low, the outcome's good.
So on to thirds rocks right now. So Danielle with this one on the way.
Again, looking for anything nose or beyond.
It's nose and just slightly beyond.
Nice little click to break them up a bit. Still fairly well cemented back there. That's a 2 rock removal of the red one. So this looks like a hit and roll under the corner. So you kind of have to roll to the yellow guard side. If you try to roll into your red ones, you plow that rock into the back pile, which isn't good.
Trying to walk it over just a touch. Gonna get the hit, rolling, and rolling out.
Ugh. There's one of those unnecessary errors. Anywhere in the house is what you're after.
So now's a chance to hammer this and at least break it up.
Don't even nose hit it. Then what's Kayla going to do? Freeze on top of it? Now you're really in the land of only getting 2.
on this one for curl right off the jump. Here it comes. Gonna get just off nose, but very good outcome.
If you get this skinny enough, you could make a double and sit too. Skinny with decent weight, but realistically, just rattle them around.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw that, buddy.
Can, but the outcome is about a 5% likelihood, so let's just not. No, I like this. Just rattle the rocks around, create a better angle. Keep defending your 2 and hope for a chance at a 3. Marilyn working to keep it straight. It's going to be a little thicker than they're after.
Not bad, though.
No, I think they were hoping to pop that yellow one out of the 4-foot, but I would call that a success. I'm trying to picture if there's a way to get both reds out, but that's about a 6-second peel and get the mini around the horn going. Shoot that red one back up towards the hog line. That's a junior men's throw.
I just can't see the upside. Can't unsee the upside down balloon.
It is a bit, what would you say, disorienting to see the Remax balloon falling out of the sky.
Well, I mean, it doesn't say much for the company. I mean, and we want to take this moment to thank Remax for their great support of curling throughout North America. Great sponsors, but yeah, that just looks weird.
All right, Selena looking to make sure one red disappears. Leave yourself shot.
It looks like it's quote unquote the right way on the other house. It's going to come on up all the way to nose and probably a little bit past it.
Not ideal. You might actually be able to sit 2. Also wouldn't be against like a board weight. Try to clip the back yellow and roll your shooter towards that double pile. So if you manage to get both those yellows kind of out of play and roll under the guard, Selena's going to have to play that middle red at the back 4-foot and might leave a double. So you're getting your 2. I guess that's a lot of work for a 2. If you just move things around a little bit again, you're probably still going to at least have 1 red remaining. So this ice says that they're pushing that yellow one back house and rolling over in front of that yellow one.
That was my first call.
With only 2 rocks left, it's probably a much more manageable call than a hit and roll.
Yes, I'll coach very engaged in that delivery. This needs to get
Working
engaged
hard.
the ice. And yes, it's got to curl on over. Can it get there? Can it get there? Gets there, slides beyond the tee line. Yet you're 1-3 right now.
They almost needed to be thinner so that it rolled down onto the yellow one. They were never going to get thick enough to stay where they wanted. They almost needed to hold it straight.
So do you draw or do you just try to kill both reds? Because you can probably make them both go.
Even if you hit and roll 2 inches away from the center line or 1 inch away from the center line, that's a pretty hard double. It's tough on the inside. It's tough on the outside. So hitting it and almost nosing it wouldn't be terrible. You could make the double. It's there. It's really flat. I don't think that would be what you would take on. Freezing into the pocket is probably the easiest and safest.
Yeah, that's the call that they seem to be coming to. You see Desiree coming on down. And Paige.
I don't love rolling towards the yellow-red pair, because if you leave it wrong, it's just a dead gimme double for 2.
You're never hurting yourself by making a redstone go away.
That was my first inclination, is just hit the shot rock and make them earn 2. But they're electing to put one in the pocket.
Well, there's only one pro side miss here. It's heavy. It can't be light. That would be, well, not good.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to leave a cute tap for 3, that's for sure. If you're biting top 4, that's technically light, but still guarding yours. It's not terrible. But yeah, frozen to your own in that little pocket would be the 4 out of 4.
I mean, there's a mitt back there so big it might as well have Spalding on it.
Playing slow pitch. Big 14-inch mitt.
You told me about your slow pitch days, and I'm sure you'll give us some of those stories as the season goes on.
Year 1 snapping one Achilles, year 2 snapping the other Achilles. Great stories.
Well,
that's called getting old.
just did what we said you couldn't do.
There's that. Yeah, that's left that super cute push at 1 foot. The ice certainly curls enough.
It's not even a foot; it's 2 inches.
Fair. Heck, even if you just dead draw, you still get your 2.
Yeah, good look at that. And if we bring our camera on in, you can see you only have to move that yellow 2.5 Scotias.
That's the Dave empirical term for about 2 inches.
And I'm going to go with an imperial Scotia as opposed to a metric one.
Yeah, metric's bigger. Okay, so this is a team shot. Kayla's looking to dead draw button, and the sweepers are going to say, if everything's brilliant, we can move that rock by sweeping it. And then Jerry Lynn in the house is just straight, make sure you're skinnying the top and then curl it to the best you can.
Final stone of the third end. The Skrlik's looking for 3. Can they get it down there? Ashton holding it there. Now Kayla's going to come on in too. Got to get the weights. Got to go. Has to be there to get there. No.
Oh!
It's only going to be 2. Left it just a hair light.
Had the line.
They get their deuce, and we'll be back with the fourth end after this from Saville.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
The rock faces around Lake Tahoe are legendary. But this fall, new ones will emerge in the Tahoe Basin. Pullman, Moe, Gushu, and more. November 4th through 9th, the Grand Slam of Curling's first ever event in the U.S. is coming to Lake Tahoe. where the greatest rock stars on earth unite for 6 days of incredible curling, celebrity appearances, and après curl parties you won't want to miss. Get your tickets at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock.
And welcome back to the Saville Community Sports Center. It was a deuce for Kayla Skrlik. They're in end number 3. And really, the outcomes flipped there and gave her that opportunity there, Gord.
Yeah, you got to look at it that as a kind of a I missed 3. But we're gonna keep up the aggressive game, which is nice. Anytime a game is tight, you can be comfortable in knowing you're gonna have rocks in play. So yay for all of us.
Well, it's a lot better than me trying to dig through Edmonton and Calgary fun facts.
Okay, let's stick with officiating trivia. And this is just a little fun one of mine because this is Jerry Lynn throwing right now is the reason I know this rule. I'll give you the story in a minute. If a team misses opening ceremonies, what is the consequence?
I don't know if that's a WCF rule. That's often, I would think that's an event-specific rule. You could possibly lose an end and hammer. That would be my first thought.
That's not a bad answer. So the context, we were at four-man mixed provincials in Alberta. This is probably about 2015 or 16, so a while ago. Jerry Lynn was skipping her own team, and they ended up missing opening ceremonies. Don't know why. I'm not going to say malicious or anything, but they unfortunately missed it. And the ruling is actually you never get hammer to start a game in the event.
Okay, I was close. I was in the ballpark.
Yeah. Your shot was a good one. So yeah, they played the entire event with never having hammer to start the game.
Oh, I've seen myself play plenty of games. I'm not really good with hammer most of the time.
So they just don't go to opening ceremonies.
I think I'd rather use that time to buy my opponent a beverage and try to get an edge any way I can. Unless they're those special type of curlers where that just makes things better.
There's a few of those around.
Yep.
Scrolling down the scoreboard for anyone watching on Curl Zone. Most of the games are fairly tight today.
Okay, well, why don't you give us that rundown?
Okay, over on sheet 3, Nancy Martin is losing 8-0 to Laws. That one's a bit of a lopsided affair. We've got Gim versus Brown on sheet 4. Gim's up 3-0. Serena Greyweathers is up on Amanda Slaczynski 2-0. And these are all after the second end scores. Emma DeSkiffert is up 2-0 on Nikki Kaufman. Then there's our sheet, which we're watching. Sheet 9 has Gracelyn Richards, another product of the U of A system, up 2-1 over Holly Hafley, that's the word. I had to figure that one for a second. And then on the far outside sheet, we've got Mira from Japan up 2-0 on Heather Steele.
And back here it is Sturmay with a 4-3 lead with hammer, throwing yellow in end number 4. It's been a good start to the weekend and our second event broadcasting with you for the season. Looking forward to having you join us all year long. And now the stone on the way. Just trying to bring it high here. Halfway guard. Oh, maybe a scudge more than halfway. or in.
A car length scotch. Yeah. Don't know. You're trying to steal. That's certainly not the pro side there. You'd have loved to have been halfway and showing that same 2 inches of your red one. So now, regardless of what rocks leave the house on this shot, the rocks are all in the house. That's going to make things uncomfortable for Skrlik no matter how you look at it.
All depends on how the cookies crumble after this.
Surprisingly soft weight for trying to get 2, if not 3 rocks moving.
Was exactly the thought I had. And it over curls, catches it, and doesn't clear any of the opposition stones.
Yeah, I don't know. Another second of mustard on that one would have made sense to me. But hey, the reds aren't in the 4-foot. So now Skrlik's just going to elect to make this a force 1 scenario.
Nothing wrong with forcing your opponent.
5-3. I'd be content with 5-3 after the first and second end kind of went not in your favor.
So now we're going to hit and flop back.
This is the lots of positive outcomes. You can make a double off either side of the off nose. Nosing it wouldn't be terrible. Basically make the red one go away, possibly 2.
So Danielle with her first. Not laying a bristle to this one. Gonna get the hit, roll underneath, and out. Still Skrlik, line 2 on the edge.
So that one, you almost felt like it was too much weight. So, early season finesse, a little on the light side. So Kayla's just going to spread the house out. Doesn't matter where these rocks are. It doesn't have to be anything other than full 12-foot for all that matters. Just don't give a corner guard. Marilyn indicating it's not going to be a corner guard.
Yes, he is in for sure.
At least for a brief moment.
It says good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
I'm going to go hang out in the corner. All right. Not a horrible miss, given you had 2 spread out, but you sure would have liked that pressure rock.
Yeah, because now Sturmay's going to have the opportunity to group them up a little bit more and possibly be able to work back to a blank.
Correct, and everything's going to be deep in the house, which makes rollouts much easier, so to speak, which works against Skrlik and for Sturmay. Danielle again with the upside of control.
Yeah, it looks a little stiff. Gets the hit. Roll on over beautifully right in front of that stone.
Very nice shot.
You see that one coming down, you grab that hit. It gears on over. Beautiful location.
So now you just need to remove the red and remove the yellow and keep your red somewhere, anywhere. Call it a nice soft quarter rock. This is kind of that hack weight sort of, enough to push the yellow out. This is a great example of matching the weight, just enough weight to make the shot. That was a kind of a Deanism weight from the very early years. Throw just enough weight to make your shot.
Well, you're a friend of mine, Wayne Anderson. That is literally his gospel.
A little thin.
Gonna get it. It's gonna roll on out.
A little thin and a little heavy. And Sturmay is gonna avoid a conundrum. Now it's just manage the end and try for the blank.
Try not to end up in a pickle. I know you don't like pickles.
I've certainly never been to a restaurant with a dedicated pickle bar before, but hey, thanks for the experience.
Yes. I was able to take Cord to an authentic New York deli that's located just off the Jersey Turnpike on his way back to Newark Airport. Big sandwiches.
That's enough sandwich to call it a family sandwich.
And that's the junior.
All right, Sturmay looking to just keep her shooter and make Skrlik make hers. Learn the path so you can blank the end on the next one.
As we saw last evening, if you're joining us, blanks are not always a sure thing, but this is looking a little bit easier now.
And now the choice of where can I put this to make it as hard as possible for Sturmay, otherwise known as where do they not know the ice? And I can't say they've seen a lot of rocks thrown into the 8-foot, so this is not a bad choice. The tendency is either high on the center line to make the roll as long as possible, or out to the wing where you may misjudge the ice. That's the tendency on this shot.
So Skrlik with her last. Just looking for the draw here. They picked this up right out of her hand.
This isn't going to be heavy.
So we have Skrlik squared on the sweep. It's not getting there.
There's that early season struggle. But you know what? In September is when you want to make those mistakes, not December and January. All right, well, here's the freebie blank for Selena.
Yeah, and I know a lot of teams will take the opportunity to try to read a path they haven't seen.
Inside out is usually the one you see most people try to learn here because that's not oft called.
Now this is very handily.
Yeah, I'm not sure they took a whole lot from that experience. Normal down the middle is straight.
And through the rings they go, and to the fourth end break we go. We'll be back after this.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. TheRockShop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
And we're back here. It's the fourth end break. It's a 4-3 lead for Sturmay over Skrlik. And then we've had a little bit of a battle of unforced errors here a little bit, Gord.
Yeah, it's kind of lopsided if I'm being totally honest. Sturmay has had a couple of unforced errors. She clipped one guard, mismanaged one hit, but unfortunately for Skrlik, that's kind of the narrative right now, is they're making more mistakes.
Well, she's going to look to flip that script when we come back after this.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, custom chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Blister juice, freshly made your way.
Games we watched waiting for.
And welcome back to the Saville Community Sports Center. It's the Saville Grand Prix. We were talking in the break about different strategies and different ways to look at things, but right now it is Sturmay with a 4-3 lead over Skrlik. I'm Dave Schmel. He's Gord Copperthorne. Connor Sims is on our production, and we are so happy to have you with us here on Curling Stadium. So, Gord, what do you do here in the second half if you're Skrlik?
If I'm Skrlik, it's as simple as giving yourself a little bit more. Give yourself a little bit more ice. Give yourself a little bit of room to, have a slightly errant slide or whatever. Like, they're not missing by a ton, but they're misses that you don't need to be having. And then on the Sturmay side, I would honestly say just keep doing, because you're forcing them into tough spots. I'd hate to see them switch to a super clean strategy or something along those lines.
I think we definitely see that at the club level tremendously. You see teams that change gears because, quote unquote, that's what they're supposed to do. But I always say you dance with the person that brought you.
Don't go to salsa when you're doing good at two-step.
Pick your poison there, sure. I don't get much past the electric slide, honestly, myself.
Just shake a lot. Anyways, this is sticking to the script. Center guard, come around the center guard.
We had the
looking a little light.
Yeah, we had the meandering skip. Not the worst outcome.
I'm not going to say I love it. Edge on edge is going to make it a bit trickier to get to that yellow one.
Yeah, had it stopped 6 inches further out, I would have been fine.
Or be honest with yourself and leave it as a much longer guard. Then you'd have something to kind of curve underneath of. They've done that a couple times now, so maybe they're comfortable with that stacking of guards. But typically you would see them say, let's just go high and short.
Good look at all the different games here. I see one game still playing the fourth end, but everybody else into the fifth. 2 games in the fourth. Yeah, about an end or so we'll give everybody an update, but you see that one right there in the full 12.
Definitely early pressure on Skrlik again. Once again, trying to figure out how to use her guards in ways she didn't intend it. That yellow one did come up short enough that this is a fairly straightforward hit, and then your shooter might even roll underneath of the guard you're going to create with the thrown rock. This is one of my favorite shots in curling, when you do a raise and then the raised rock rolls under the thrown rock.
In theory.
Really good idea. But your rocks aren't staggered. Those guards are more useful now.
Yeah, all things considered, I think you shuffled the deck in your favor if you're throwing red.
That was a better outcome than just super skinnying the guard.
And Sturmay is just going to make the pile heavier. She does have hammer, of course.
There's even a thin in off from the other yellow one that popped out. So that wasn't a complete for naught. If I'm Sturmay, I might be wary of too many rocks in the 4-foot.
Indicate this rock from Desiree might be just a little bit spicy.
Oh, burnt rock, I assume.
And not sure where they burned it, but generally it has to come to rest if it's burned in that area. But
yeah, so the burn is before the hog line. It's immediately removed. After the hog line, you let it come to rest and your opponent chooses the appropriate outcome.
We can't hear it. They may have already decided upon that before it was moved.
Well, that's a big breath of fresh air for the Skrlik team. I'm surprised that they're playing the hit and roll. They haven't been getting the rolls they've been after. Corner freeze on that yellow one would have been a pretty nice choice as well.
That's a hit. That's a pretty darn good roll, Gord.
That is an excellent roll. Color me wrong.
Take us through it.
Well, as long as you're anywhere in front of that yellow one with this roll, it's going to force Selena to go clean up those guards. There's just no doubt about that. The danger would have been a short roll or all the way out the side, but that was absolutely perfect. So this will be a double peel attempt.
And we welcome all of our viewers who are watching our other feature game from the Laws and Martin game, where it was in favor of the Manitoba squad. You were with Marty and Rory, and I'm Dave Schmell, and he's Gord Cupathorn, and thank you so much for being with us here.
Perfectly executed double peel. Now they're going to play the guard game for a couple of rocks. put one up, peel it off, put one on, peel it off. In theory.
Wonder what the snacks are in the next sheet.
That's a U of A team. It's probably very specific snacks. Their program is extremely well regimented. Jerry Lynn working to get this over into the middle.
Yeah, so that was our colleague in New Zealand, Hans Frohnla, but him and I were calling an event from Japan, and one of our favorite things was zooming in at the fourth end break and seeing what kind of snacks they had. And one end, they had Tim Hortons. They had Timbits.
I guess there's a sugar boost in there. Most coaches would lean towards orange slices or something more nutritional value. But hey, who doesn't love a good sugar rush? All right, there's the put guard, take guard. Now we're going to put guard.
Shampoo.
Rinse.
Repeat as desired.
Just don't get any in your eye. So at some point or another, Kayla's going to have to shuffle things in the house a bit, being that they're not shot, but they're not against wasting rocks for the time being. Once again, it's going to be a hair higher than she was indicating, but as long as you get to the center line, you're happy. Selena wants a team consensus on this one. Now, the textbook is peel the guard. You're not against this setup, because as I just mentioned, Skrlik has to deal with the yellow in the top 4 foot. So you can peel the guard. Kayla rattles the rocks around a little bit. You hope for some kind of a double for 2. But Sturmay has been out executing, so she's thinking, you know what might we do to make Kayla's job harder and really make it so we just have to draw the 4 foot for 2?
Yeah, so, yeah, if that's the textbook, what does the leaflet say?
Well, if you draw a portion of a rock in front of that red one, then Kayla doesn't have the obvious nose hit clunk to sit. Then she would have to draw behind, and you just hope she leaves enough of a rock to push it through for your 2. You've also seen Selena tap kind of the outer 8 foot a couple of times. I don't love that one. You're kind of saying, I'm expecting you to make a mistake so that I can get 2. It's not the way I generally advise a pro team to play, expecting mistakes. So to me, peel is the obvious one.
And we've went to Captain Obvious.
Clerica advisor said peel. This is just safe. Like, this is the plus or minus 1 call.
So Danielle on the peel. Just like a Chiquita banana.
Exactly as you expected. Can't say I've heard that one before. So now here's the point. Kayla has to pick a way to move that yellow one, because another guard is not going to ultimately accomplish much. So do you go dead nose and just push the yellow to the back? Do you try to push the yellow out and say, earn your one? Again, trying the force model.
Yeah, the first indication looked like it was push it through and try to roll open some.
Yeah, try to make the double hard, but get the yellow out of the house.
That would give them the hammer and the 6 in if they can execute the force.
Yeah.
Getting to the point in the game where the even end deal is actually a deal.
This is being worked hard by Sister Skrlik. That's a pretty good shot. That's not a gimme double by any means, but give it a whip.
Yeah, certainly got to bring some pace with this one.
Certainly makeable, but yeah, you gotta get about a quarter rock with decent weight.
Say about 8.5 sufficient or 8?
Yeah, probably in that ballpark. If you were in the other gender category, it would probably be 6. But they love those shots. All right, here we go.
Everybody who has youth loves this shot. This has to come up just a touch. It's going to go over the top.
That's kind of the funny thing about that. You got to get it so thin to get just a piece of the bottom one that it actually is it's not an angle a lot of people read. We were actually talking about it the other day. When we were younger, a pick, for example, was a fairly normal shot to call. But I hardly ever see it anymore. So you don't see anyone practicing hitting an inch of a rock. So that double was kind of goofy in that way because the angle was really steep.
And they did catch just a hair of it, moved it like a centimeter. Yeah, I went metric.
Yeah, you want to be Canadian. I'm okay with that.
Well, yeah.
Speechless. All right, looking to clog things up and make them earn their one. They've seen this guard numerous times, so they know what they're after. Running a little hot.
A little bit spicy is going to come on in, and this is way easier of a double if you want to make it.
It's not a give me rollout. It's actually kind of sneaky where she left it. You got just off-nosed for the double. You're not likely to roll out, so now she's thinking maybe I'll just take the easy hit for one.
Does seem to be her intention, so it'll be mission accomplished for Skrlik. Gets the force in.
You would see a lot of teams go after that double, but it kind of falls into whether you work on those kinds of shots. Because again, it's going to be an up weight, just off nose, very precise, hard hit. And some teams just don't practice that a lot. So why risk a lot on something you're not comfortable throwing?
So Selena Sturmay, final stone of end number 5. Facing a pair. Hit and stick for 1. Keeping this one clean. Just a broom down, keeping the path clean. And no problem there. She gets her single. And a 5-3 advantage. Skrlik has a hammer in 6 when we come back from Saville right after this on Curling Stadium.
Hey, Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be AztecSafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, Now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety Online Course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbach coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
And welcome back to the Saville Community Sports Center. It is Selena Sturmay with a 2-stone lead over Skrlik from Calgary. We have a lot of action going on right now, and Gord, why don't you catch us up?
Sure, let's walk through the sheets. Sheet 3 has come to rest. Laws beating Martin 9-2. Sheet 4 is also called it quits, with Gim beating Brown 8-1. Sereno Greyweathers is leading Amanda Slutchinski. That's always a mouthful. Nothing on Heather Steele.
And then has you all caught up. So Skrlik trailing 2 here, but has the hammer in the even ends. And I know there's all kinds of math and analytics about this. So go ahead, Coach.
At this time of the season, this is a comfort play. They've put up their corner. They're not going to use the corner. Sturmay's doing the textbook, but threw 2 rocks right down the middle, top 4 foot-ish, because then Skrlik's going to have to deal with them. So this is a cat and mouse game, looking to craft some misses out of your opponent. So yes, corner guard, draw on a guard, and start the battle. The traditional next shot would be a really tight center guard on those 2.
We'll see how it plays out. Here comes that second one. Kind of find its way to nibble the rings.
That's a nice shot. High enough that it's not a catcher for any kind of a hit. Really hard for Selena to do too much with it. Long enough that it's a non-gimme double. That was a nice shot. Danger here, of course, is clipping the front one with the free guard zone rule.
Yeah, certainly don't want to do that.
Had a little personal chuckle moment there. Sturmay using arm signals for weights. A lot of teams use belly and chest weights, and that gave you all kinds of grief last weekend when we came to visit.
Yeah. Well, I'm familiar with what those signals are. It's just not what we use. we are arm people. A little tap of the wrist is your control. Our elbow is usually normal. Shoulder is firm, and well, international sign for peel. That's That doesn't change.
Flap your hand up high. All right, Skrlik looking to create some opportunity. Push the yellow under the tee line and put your red somewhere tricky to remove.
Of course, bumper weight, that's pretty international too. You just pat yourself on the tuchus.
Well, some people use your ankle, tap your ankle, do a little do-si-do.
That's usually hack for us, but
fair enough.
Interesting.
So there you go. Pushed one under the tee line, which is a catcher for a draw under the corner. Made hers troublesome to remove. A yellow will go.
Is it going to get that catcher on the way by?
My first inclination is no, but that's really close. But even still, you lose 2 yellows and 1 red. You can go back under the corner guard again.
Yeah, deuce is certainly now possible for Team Skrlik.
2-1-2. That's their plan right now. Take 2, give 1, take 2.
On the beak. Oh, just underneath that one and out the side door. Sturmay sitting 3, but that was, yeah.
So there you go. They hit it where they were after. It just papers underneath of it, and the red one squirts out. That was the goal there, was make that red one go away.
So now you got to draw under all day here.
And that was Skrlik's plan when she did that one, was to make that catcher her best friend. Those other 2 yellows are certainly doubleable. So if you throw this one in here as a nice freeze, Sturmay might just follow you down. But at least you're getting rocks in the house.
I appreciate that you're using one of the very curling specific terms, doubleable.
Something you wouldn't typically find in a dictionary of other purposes, doubleable.
But, well, last season, Sean went and called me on it, and he looked up Scotia in the Webster's Dictionary. It's there.
Alrighty then. We'll just put that in the book of American terms, because you're the first person I've met that uses it regularly.
I think I heard Mudrick on it once. I'm just going to say he stole that from me.
All right. I'm okay with that. You can own that one. We all have our strange comments and statements and words. All right, so here's what we're talking about. They're just looking to freeze back.
And it's going to be a battle of the draws here. And if Sturmay doesn't have a good answer, we might not be talking about 2 anymore.
Certainly neither team's been afraid of playing busy ends.
This is coming on down, and that is pretty good, Gord.
Very nice shot by Danielle Schmiemann there. Kayla recognizing that there's 2 other yellows that need to be dealt with, so her call is the long hit and roll. So you can see this draw coming in, and it is a great team shot. All 4 players are involved on it. The tap was acceptable. You just needed to be on the corner of that yellow in some fashion.
So if you throw this double, probably have both your reds still in action.
That's the ideal state, yep.
On it right away. Gonna get it. It gears over and right to it.
That's a nice shot.
That's a very nice shot. I mean, about 97% of how good it could possibly have been.
But the only thing you could have done slightly better is a fraction thinner to push that yellow to, whether it be 4th. But that's really asking a lot out of that shot.
Yeah, great shot there. So now no choice but to hit it back.
Yeah, this is the prototypical curling is chess on ice. Just moving your pieces, trying to create an opportunity. Now, Danielle and Selena would really like to not rattle those three. So this kind of has to get to nose to be a good outcome. Good enough. Good.
So you see the little pop and flop.
That's where Selena would have loved that one to been the other side of the rock, so they could have rolled that way. But hey, they got rid of the red. And are sitting 3. Those are 2 very good sentences to put together.
Looks like we might talk about this for a moment.
Team consensus. You could just freeze to that set of 3. I'm not sure I see what they're kind of thinking there. That's kind of funny. Technically speaking, there's a triple there. If you hit, call it an inch of that higher yellow, you would end up sitting 2. Be a very brazen call.
That is a word for it.
I was a fan of their first call, the hit and flop. I don't mind the freeze, but you got 2 yellows to deal with. I don't love any simple hits.
You know who would love that triple? Our lead last weekend, Shawnee.
The Manitoba tuck. Straight and hard. Just fire it down. It would be a heck of a fun shot to try. You could get all the yellows out.
Oh, that's one I'd be playing on Sunday. Fun day curling. But we're playing for at least a fair amount of the tea in China.
This is probably the most, the highest percentage shot with a good outcome. Just
yeah,
in front of it.
Absolutely. Plenty of good things happen here. And that's one of them.
Very nice shot. Shot rock. Hard to remove.
Oh.
I think it's shot rock.
I believe it's shot stone as well.
Oh, sorry, second.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not forget that fun one in the 4-foot. But yes, of those 4 in a row, it looks the closest to the middle.
If you hit absolutely everything you can see, do you drive it over into that one in the 4-foot?
I don't mind that theory.
I'm not saying that's easy.
Yes, Skrlik might try something like that. You're not wrong. If you nose it or close to nose it, it would catch on that one right beside Remax. Selena looking to just figure out how to make it so that she has more counting rocks at this point. She can do little with that red one, so she could draw underneath everything. Risk being leaving a double. Be flat but makeable. You could draw a top in front of your own, but you risk a double that way. You could split the house, but then you leave a double that way.
What about drawing behind the pile?
That's what she's looking at. And I don't mind it so long as you're at least even with the one in the 4-foot. Because if you get lower, then you're going to have a flat doubleable scenario, and then you're going to be sitting 2 reds. So yeah, basically on or just under the T line, half buried under that red that just appeared. It's kind of been the story of this game. The draw has been the answer to everything.
Be my next curling song. Just draw, it'll be okay.
All right, past the front one, at least the tee line, not much more than the tee line. Paige is working it.
Yeah, this is walking on over. It's not going to be behind anything, so end up in a good place up here. Angle's still halfway decent, I would say.
Everyone's getting out their rulers now.
Oh, yeah, this is... I see sines and cosines and tangents.
And really big calculators. That said, yellow is sitting 2, possibly 3.
Yeah, someplace at home in Halifax, Jim Nix has his slide rule out.
I don't mind that. Draw under everything, hit and roll under everything. That front yellow one's hard to deal with.
You know, well, that chorus line is not going anywhere.
I was picturing what you were saying before of whether you can do a ricochet off of all of it. But I still don't think red comes out looking very good.
It looks less good than it did before. It didn't even look good then.
Yes. Yeah.
I think they're looking at it. They're looking at it too, because it's if you can find a world where that works, that's how you're getting your multiple score most likely.
Well, they might even be looking at the slash double just to get the 2 reds out. Sorry, yellows.
Yeah, they're not looking for any Visine shots here. We see timeout called.
Oh, here comes Coach Kleibrink.
Coach Kleibrink. I ran into her in Minnesota this last year at the Lupus Spiel.
I've heard great things about that event.
Anybody who's been there can pretty much say I ran into X, Y, or Z at that event. Great event for a great cause.
I got my first reaction in this one was a hit and roll exactly like that, with at least control. You'll rattle that foursome a little bit. That yellow one goes out, and your shooter rolls into a spot where Sturmay has to deal with it. And you just kind of hope that the rattle works out in your favor, and then you're going to possibly set up a 2. I don't see a great outcome on that deep yellow in the 4-foot, because no matter where you roll to, Sturmay's going to have a reasonable way to get it out and still be sitting 2. Drawing underneath, the short run of the yellow was too easy. So yeah, that's my inclination, is that you need to play that one and try your darndest to roll in front of the other yellow to make Sturmay's shot harder.
Yeah, I've been doing so many angles here with the protractor. I'm going to need a GoFundMe for a new monitor because I get the Sharpie on it now.
Stop using permanent ink.
I never said I was smart, Cord.
All right, that's what Coach Kleibrink has also come to the conclusion of. Hit and try to roll. And if you rattle those 4, maybe a better angle comes out of it. Maybe the top 2 spin up and off, and the back red becomes a nice one. You never know. But
No,
for now, they're just consequence.
Absolutely. I like the call, and obviously Skrlik in a good position to score. Unlikely to give up a steal here. Never know, of course, but
It's a nice feeling to know you have the 4 foot.
So Skrlik with her first.
Little
Gonna
thin.
get it, rattle it around, and after all the dust settles, it's Sturmay line 2.
So those foursome played out almost like they wanted, but she just hit it too thin, frankly. She needed to stay in the 8 foot somewhere.
Don't know if Connor has a quarter or loonie left to throw in the replay computer.
You get a slot machine overlay. Bling, 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 bling. Anyway, so you see decent weight on it. Certainly had enough weight. They worked it, but a quarter rock is too thin. You needed to be at least a thick 3/4 to keep your rock somewhere in that 8 foot. Kind of anything 12 up to halfway guard. Anything in front of the yellow one. Basically ensuring the force of one with a nice draw. Skrlik's thrown several hits, so try to change her gears.
So Sturmay with her final of 6. Mission accomplished.
That is true. No good way to milk a 2 out of that, so forcing her to draw the Remax.
And on the home end, the balloon is in a far less disconcerting orientation.
All right, let's throw a stopwatch on this. Let's see if we can't see what this ice is running right now.
Oh, we're getting fancy now. Final son of the 6. Facing 2. Needs to draw the balloon. Not overly concerned about it. Plenty of room past the guard. It's all about the weight. Oh, this needs to curl or find breaks or grab a piece. It did. What am I talking about? Perfect stone. A score of 1 for Skrlik. She trails by 1, Sturmay with the hammer in 7 when we come back.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made your way.
And welcome back to the Saville Grand Prix. It was a single for Skrlik there in the 6th. Sturmay with the 1-stone lead with Hammer and Gord. Fantastic matchup between these squads thus far.
Each end has been as exciting as you could hope for. The outcomes are tilted in Sturmay's favor, but they've been great ends to play. We have a final over on sheet 5. Serena Greyweathers took a big 4 and 6 to close the game out on Amanda Slaczynski, an 8-3 win over there.
Well, it means at least that's the last time you'll have to fight through St. Sluchinski.
I play against her husband yearly, at least once, if not numerous times, but yet it's still a mouthful to say.
Oh, with my family being of Polish descent, I have a little easier time on that one.
So, in principle, we want the double guards, the short and long. They're not going to put them side by side this time. That didn't work out so well. So now we're going to go with a long, narrow pair. Bring that tick rule into play.
Sean Joyce's favorite rule.
Sturmay looking to take advantage of those guards and put one top 4.
Yeah, they're trying to just take it to him. Stone on the way. Rushers are mildly engaged at this point. Now trying to drive it home. You see that big finish here at Saville.
What an excellent shot.
Yep, right down, full 8-foot.
And what a great view that was, to your point, to be able to see how hard the rock starts walking sideways once you hit the hog line. It was a nice view. All right, well, you can actually look at it as 3 guards, considering, as we just said, how much the rocks curl. So looking to put this one just underneath the yellow one.
Yeah, there comes a point, especially if you're trying to play hard for the steal, which appears to be the MO right now. Any guard's a good guard, really. Now you see here on the intern side, and it just goes and buckles on over, as they would say in Utica, New York.
Another marvelous shot. And now is when Skrlik's happy at how high that guard was, because the double peel is very difficult without leaving another guard up there. So peel, place, peel, place.
And the next few shots will be brought to you by your favorite hair care products.
Rinse and repeat, right?
Yep. There it is.
So in this one, they're looking for them to be as nose on nose as possible. Again, making that double peel all the harder without leaving your shooter behind. High and right on the center line. Ashton's turn to play the guard game.
So it's up there. We're going to get the peel. Just a hair tighter.
And this is where we were saying they're not quite nose on nose, so they can play the peel and just try to clip that red one on the way by. Just like that. Did leave some guards, but they're not on the center.
Here's another look at it.
So you can see they're coming down, and it's a prototypical peel, not overthrown, so you can bring your sweepers into it. And you don't mind where the shooter rolled. That's a corner guard, but that red one, you just wish you cut it a 1/4 inch thicker to kick it into the house. Now, another guard. Junk is the stealing team's friend.
Probably would have liked that to curl up just another hair.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You've definitely given them a window.
You just had a very good Stewie Griffin moment there. If you ever watched Family Guy. So how's that novel coming?
Yeah. Skrlik's kind of grimacing in the back of her mind. This is a very makeable shot to have 3 yellows in the house. There is guards, though.
So first and away from Danielle. On this one, really hard to hold it straight. Going to be awfully friendly with that guard. Get past it. Tap it up. Onto the red. And you lie. Shot stone.
Nice shot. Would love that red one to be a rock deeper. Yeah, this is hard work for Papley. Leaning in on the broom, trying to get it by the guard. Good job there. Angle ended up being perfect. Just would have loved 2 feet more weight. Skrlik likely doing the nose double here.
Nose double, you'll sit first and third.
And be in control of the entire front of the house.
And as I was talking with Jim last night, it's, that control zone is not something that a term we use quite as much anymore, but still very much a thing.
You're not wrong. I was actually just thinking that the other day, but you don't hear controlling the front as much as you used to. Ooh.
Oh, that's an unfortunate little rub on by there.
Still got opportunity. You got 2 guards. You got a high red one you can deal with if it's still there. But yeah, you'd love that to have curled an inch farther, half an inch at the least. Yeah, it's called a half an inch. Me being all American here, 2 centimeters farther would have been ideal.
Oh, or at least 3 Scotias. So it's worth talking about this here.
So, in the nature of control zone, leaving that red one is not ideal. But as the story goes, why hit and roll to a spot you can draw to?
I actually very much like both of those stories you're telling. I mean, the first instinct is nothing ever is going to be bad with getting rid of your opponent's stone.
That was my inclination. Up one with hammer and 7. You'll end up sitting probably 3. 2 for sure. So they're going with the safe route. They were also talking about how a long roll is not a bad thing. Agree and disagree. You're going to be very safe under that collection of guards, but it's going to be high in the 8 foot and a big draw path for Skrlik. All right, so Danielle with the nice calm out turn. Desiree on with the sweep.
Yep, it's on the way. We're going to make contact.
Ooh.
Hit your own on the way by. Push it behind the tee line. Now it's a catcher.
They're kind of trading oopses here this end. Missing by very little and getting unfortunate outcomes. Wouldn't you just love to bite the tee line past the center line underneath 3 guards?
I like that. And I like a lot of things. I mean, I like bagels. That'd be a fantastic outcome for sure.
Well, that sentence would be pretty happy to me. Bite the center, bite the tee line under 3 guards.
While biting a bagel.
Might be hard to sweep while biting on a bagel.
Especially if it's like an everything one. I mean, you'd end up with picks on the ice. It'd be a whole mess. So
The old
Skrlik.
days of smoking and sweeping?
Oh, yeah, that's a whole different story. Just skinny past the guard. You're going to end up line shot in the back.
That strikes me as trying to make the most out of a mistake. I think they were trying to clip that yellow one because they were wide of the broom, thinking they could just, have a little kiss off. And I applaud committing to it right away, but it ended up curling too hard for them. And in hindsight, maybe having just left it the heck alone would have been a good outcome because that really curled. Like that is fully buried. But yeah, just the way they called the sweep on that makes me think they were going for the kiss.
So Sturmay with her first at 2.
All right, she's looking to get that narrative of bite the tee line, pass the center line, under the guard. Lots of room again.
Plenty of room. Plenty of heat.
Well, that was the safe outcome.
For sure, but you have Skrlik has an opportunity here to make it tough on her opponent.
Correct. Put it right on the very edge of the upside down remix balloon.
We're going to be seeing that all season. I can't unsee it now. I know we have probably at least 6 events here this year. Great facility, the Saville Community Sports Center. But anyway, Skrlik looking to apply the pressure here with her last of the 7th. She thinks it's a little bit of a spicy meatball there.
Jerry Lynn's sweeping for the curl, though. Settling for freeze to the pile.
Oh, okay. Acceptable outcome. Shot stone, forcing the draw.
Correct. Giving 1. Go down 2 into 8. It's doable. Sturmay looks like she's trying to invent a shot, but settled on go for 1.
I mean, if I had to invent something to win a Bonspiel, I'd probably angle that one in off the 12-foot.
Does kind of make you wonder if you could get that red to go pop right through that gap, and you'd at least get 2.
I think I mean, it's possible it could even go for 3, but 0 reason to throw this.
And a 2% make chance.
2%, that's a lot. So, final stone of the 7th end. Facing 1 just needs to draw the balloon. On its way down. Looking pretty good. And right on down, you get that single, no problem. Sturmay with 2-stone lead. Skrlik has a hammer in 8 when we return from Saville right after this.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, Bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
The rock faces around Lake Tahoe are legendary. But this fall, new ones will emerge in the Tahoe Basin. Pullman, Mowat, Gushu, and more. November 4th through 9th, the Grand Slam of Curling's first ever event in the U.S. is coming to Lake Tahoe, where the greatest rock stars on earth unite for 6 days of incredible curling, celebrity appearances, and off-break curl parties you won't want to miss. Get your tickets at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock!
And welcome back here from the Saville Community Sports Center. It's Dave, Gordon, and Connor here with you. And talking to our break, our young friend Connor really liked the slash there, Gordon.
The outcome is better. You get 2, maybe 3. Let's say 2. You're up 7-4. Downside, you miss it. You give up 1. You're tied coming home with hammer. If you stick it, you still get 1. You're 6-4. The outcomes are all fine. It, to me, was just a harder read at this point in the season. But as a coach, I wouldn't have said don't throw it. Take the one you're comfortable with.
So now you're Skrlik. You have to get the deuce. So guards are in order, and here comes one. I can't argue with results. They've been playing well this way the whole game.
They've been the advantageous team in these draw ins, so I certainly won't call this a bad plan. It's just a little off script. with the opposite side double guards.
So what's your feeling on that as opposed to the stack?
I like the stack in the sense there's a lot of ways to get under it, and you don't cut off both draw paths to the 4-foot. This is an older style saying, hey, I can roll either direction with a hit. So, for example, Sturmay showed a piece of that yellow one. If you throw a guard over here, you could play a hack, weight, hit, and roll under the guard. So there's value both ways. You just run the risk of being in the way of your draw.
I guess my counter to this would be is you're always having to score 2 right now. So draw for 1 is probably not going to be the last shot.
See how it plays. You don't see the double guard like this too terribly often. And only down 2, it wasn't necessary. A lot of people would have drawn underneath of their other one. And if you came up short, you got the double. There's ways to play it out.
We see Coach Kleibrink there in mission control.
Sturmay just looking to own the center line. High, medium, and long.
This one skating a little further back than you would have liked it.
Well, they actually called for it in that kind of deep, long area, thinking get the play into the 4-foot and just dance to someone getting 1. I don't think it went as deep as they intended. They literally tapped back 8. Kind of gets that mixed doubles mantra. I go back, you freeze on it, I freeze on you, you freeze on me. Hard to score anything more than a 2.
Yeah, so it's going to be one of these close to the vest end. Most likely those corner guards are going to be yearning for a friend and never receive it.
Yeah, it's all angles at that point, looking for some way to do a hit and roll to get under the corner. That's about where they're at. Short of a big miss and them getting a free draw out there, but not expecting that.
Nice draw here.
So yeah, if this goes just across nose, that's really nice, because now if you play a hit on that middle yellow, your shooter rolls under the corner guard, and that red at the back just gets plowed into the other yellow. So that's where that's the picture they're drawing.
So Desiree with her second.
Stacking them all in there. Nice draw.
So throwing some weight here.
Let's see if you can't get 3 yellows moving.
Pick this one up right out of her hand. Just a heavy clean. On the top guy, push 1, 2, 3 around. Clear that one out the side. Okay. Shot stone for Skrlik and, for Sturmay.
That's the outcome they were after. Get a bunch of yellows moving and out of the 4-foot, so mission accomplished there. Still have work to do to get there too. Sturmay with an open option of how to force one or get that red one. Or she could play a short little babang on her own and roll the rocks around. Can freeze to something. Could draw top 4. Plenty of choices here.
Playing the quieter shot. It's been the MO most of the game.
I certainly would have erred on that short yellow-red. If the red's not in there, they don't get a chance to score more than 1 or 2. But Selena's liked owning the 4-foot.
Look over there. You see DeSchiffert with a 1-stone lead over Kaufman on our adjacent sheet. This one coming on down.
It's a little short of what they were aiming for. They wanted that one biting top 4-foot. And it's given enough room. You can actually get a cross nose on that yellow one with just a 10 or 11.
And those cards are just a touch corner hooked now. Going billiards on you.
It was far enough over that it won't be in the way of this draw path, but you can kind of get the statement. Had that guard been a half a rock tighter to the middle, this draw might not have been there. So anyways, looking to push that yellow one through. There's actually not a lot of harm in if you just clip that back red one, because it'll just slide a little farther under those guards. Just don't set up a double.
So watching this one, and right here is where the break comes. Now trying to walk it over even more. They're going to get that little push and tug.
Good shot. Good shot.
Definitely puts them more in the control area, being in front of the tee line. Either one of those long corners are runnable at some point. Yeah.
I can understand the call of a guard, but I have a hard time saying I would do that. I would almost freeze that red one over, like the shot that was just thrown, put another freeze on. I would almost do that over throwing this guard, because the guard is all eggs, one basket. And to your point, there are paths to those rocks in that 4-foot. I'm almost picturing the right side slash for 3 in the wind.
Yeah, I'm seeing that coming now, which is I'm drawing down or maybe a little jostle.
If I was coaching their team, I would certainly be putting, let's discuss more rocks in the house to defend a 3.
Well, they're going to get the called outcome. Let's see how it works out.
I get their shot, but it's probably not going to be there for the next 5 rocks.
Well, the red in the center never gets there, and I really like this call. I think they reference basically just through the house weight.
Kind of the same thing they did. Push themselves up to being shot, frozen on that yellow one. You're sitting 1, 3, 4. You've got 2 guards you can run at it with your last one to try to win the game. A little wide. Jerry Lynn, not sure which side to sweep on. Okay, we're going back to the curl side.
This needs to come over a lot.
Ooh.
That's unfortunate. Okay, so you just got a gift on your doorstep, I still don't see a good way that you're not in trouble.
Well, she keeps calling that out-turn draw out of the can. I don't know if it'll curl that far, but what I do like is it takes that weird angle run back for 3 out of play. Even if you just end up top 8, as long as it's in the way of that one, you're still at worst a tie game.
So you're thinking out turn draw to the button, or
Yeah, right through the pot or right through the port into the can. Because to me, that long angle is the most dangerous shot that could cost you the game. The play on this in-turn side, I still don't see how Skrlik gets more than 2. Because that back red one leaves no matter what. So yeah, I'm inclined to impede that out-turn side.
so looking to get to the pot, the can, the button, the lid, whatever you want to call it. Don't mind that. If anybody out there in the interwebs has a better idea, love to hear it.
You can corner freeze that red one, but then it's running the risk of making the run back easier. So I actually kind of like Sturmay's first call still. You could also just technically get rid of one of those dangerous corner guards. Theoretically, you could hit and roll, say the one to the left side of the screen right now. Then you're getting rid of the run back and you're plugging things up more.
So which one of those corners do you think is more dangerous, Gord?
The in-turn side is an easier run back, but it's only for 2 because at best you're going to run the red into the yellow-red pair and they both leave you to get your 2 for the tie. The one on the out-turn side is a fairly natural straight into that yellow one to get 3. So the risk to me is anything on the out-turn side. So where Danielle's broom right now is kind of my preference. If I was Kevin Cooey, I'd be like, I want that shot all day, right there. So take it away. Not sure what that one's taking away.
Yeah.
I'm a very big fan of the guard underneath of things when you have multiple danger shots. So a rock biting 4 foot into the house is probably a better guard than a true guard. I'm assuming they're trying to take away the double peel. Though I am not sure I would throw that if I was Skrlik. So in that scenario, I tend to ask myself, if I was the opponent, what would I want to throw and take that away?
Well, this is going to be very high. Didn't change a whole bunch, really.
Almost the exact words I was going to use. That didn't change the end. Skrlik still has the same choices. A slash off either guard, the same tap she just threw. I don't think she was ever going to try to clear the center.
So if you draw tap right to the one in the 4 foot right now, is there any world where they can't prevent you from having a shot for the game?
No. No, I think she's going to play the same shot she tried. Push hers up one rock, ideally onto the yellow one. And there is nothing Sturmay is going to be able to do to not leave her a shot. Maybe a hard shot, but she's definitely going to have a shot.
Skrlik, her first to 2.
Must be better weight, sweeping it quite regularly.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's a very nice shot. Shooter is marginally in the way. So here you go, working it both straight and then curl once you're past the guard, because the more curl, the merrier. Beautiful team shot there. Still very much anybody's game. Now that Kevin Cooey long angle on the outturn side is even scarier for Sturmay. But they also have the short run back on that one.
I'm sure Jamie could throw it too. Don't say it's just Kevin.
So I've lost enough games to Kevin on that shot that I just by default called it out on his. We all grew up in the same area, so Kevin always had to slam the door in your face slash for 4. But yes, I appreciate that the shooter Skrlik just put there is another playable shot. But you only have a little bit of that yellow for her to push it into and so on and so forth. So I do think this outturn longer rock is the danger. That's definitely the game. That's a shot for 4 now. So now this is kind of a cute idea. Might as well take away the slash, and you can either plug it up so you can't draw with a little roll, or you could even roll aggressively and crack all those middle ones and scatter them around and take a lot of paths away. But main goal here is get rid of that red one.
You never like just drawing the button and making 3 really tough?
The risk would be that you just make the smash easier by making a bigger target.
Fair.
I think taking away the run back rock is the easiest.
On this one all day.
Right. Bang, bang. Pop that. Oh, a little too far.
Actually, that's not a terrible outcome.
That was what I saw, was exactly that. Pop that yellow one in the way of that other run back. You've taken the other run back away. I don't know if they can get to that red in the middle. Ashton's kind of in the way of the camera, but maybe.
You might
or
have
you
to
got the
go,
double raise.
Do you have to go yellow? Yeah, right. Red, yellow now?
Yep. You put a third of a rock into the red, straight back. You just got to touch the red one and you're getting 2 or 3.
There's not even a good way to bail for an extra here.
There's absolutely no extra end to this game. Barring some really... Okay, I shouldn't say that decisive. If you just kind of touch the red one and the yellow moves 4 inches, you score 2 and it's an extra.
I was going to say, Gord, you haven't worked with me enough.
Okay, it's possible, highly unlikely. Let's go that path.
I mean, last season I actually even summoned an extra.
So here we go. 3/4 of a rock. Yellow, red, yellow. Yellow, red, red, yellow.
So, Skrlik, final stone of the 8th. Needs to bring a magic one here. for the game. On it, run it back. It's moving on back. It's moving on back. Does it have any juice? Oh, no, it doesn't. It's a single point, and Sturmay will get the victory by a single stone. Wow, Gordon, what a ride.
That was end-to-end fun. Like, even that there, that's like a quarter inch off of a different outcome. Like, that was a great end, or great game first to eighth end.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to have action for the rest of the weekend here. Please join us later this afternoon at 2 o'clock Mountain Time, 4 o'clock in the East. We have Gim versus Laws and Reese Hansen versus Kitasawa. Join Sean and Terry or Jim and Matt, and we'll be back at 2 o'clock. So from Saville, for Gordon Connor, I'm Dave Schmel. Thank you so much for watching Curling Stadium.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.